Hello friends, I welcome you all on my YouTube channel Rasayan Setu. So friends, first of all, I have a information for you. Okay. So friends, I create a separate channel for your IIT JAM preparation, that is Rasayan Setu for IIT JAM Chemistry, and I can paste the link of this channel in this video's description. You can find the link in this video's description, and please subscribe my new channel, that is Rasayan Setu for IIT JAM. Okay, on this channel we can only talk about your IIT JAM preparation exam. Okay, and in this channel we can talk about only for CSIR, NET, GATE and TIFR exams. Okay, so this is the information for you. Now we can talk about our today's video. So friends, as you know, in our previous video we can talk about your inductive effect. Okay, so in today's video we talk about your applications of inductive effect. But before we start our applications, I must discuss you a point which was related with our previous video. Okay, in our previous video we discuss about types of inductive effect, that is minus I and plus I effect. Okay, the group which have a electron releasing tendency will show plus I, and which will show electron withdrawing tendency, then this group we will call as minus I group. Okay, understand? Now friends, in minus I group, as you seen a example, we discuss in minus I group that your Nr3 is greater than NH3. The minus I effect of Nr3 is greater than NH3. But friends, another point is the respective members of nitrogen family, that is phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, their compounds with alkyl groups have shown less minus I tendency compared than their hydrides. Okay, so why Nr3 plus is show different tendency compared than your other elements? Okay, I will discuss this concept. Now see friends, as you compare Nr3 versus NH3, okay, in Nr3, when it bind with your carbon chain, you see here dominant factor is the repulsion between bond pair and bond pair. Okay, here you see that here you consider this carbon is a single bond and this alkyl group is a single bond. So here, because of nitrogen is small in size compared than your phosphorus, arsenic and antimony, nitrogen is the smallest element of that group. Okay, because of nitrogen smallest size, here the bond pair repulsion present. In your Nr3 plus, the bond pair repulsion is a dominant factor over plus I effect of these alkyl groups. Okay, so here because of bond pair repulsion, the bond angle between this carbon chain and this alkyl group will increase. So it means your bond angle or theta will increase. And you know very well that the relationship between theta and electronegativity is that theta is directly proportional to your electronegativity. When theta or bond angle increase, the electronegativity will also increase, and your minus I effect will directly proportional to your electronegativity. So ultimately we can conclude that when bond angle increases, its electronegativity will increase, and because of this factor, its minus I tendency will increase compared than NH3, in which you can see that hydrogen is a smallest size atom compared than your alkyl group. Okay, so this factor dominant, that is bond pair repulsion, dominates in this compound. That's why Nr3 plus is higher minus I effect than NH3 plus. Now we can talk about Pr3 plus and in PS3 plus. As you see, Pr3 plus can bind with your alkyl carbon chain. Here you know that the size of phosphorus atom is greater than nitrogen atom. Okay, so here phosphorus has enough big size, so here bond pair repulsion will absent because phosphorus have enough big size, so the distance between carbon chain and alkyl groups are enough, so they can't repel to each other. Okay, and that's why here the dominant factor is the plus I effect of these three alkyl groups, which can decrease the electropositivity on phosphorus atom. Because of these plus I effect of these R groups, the electropositivity on phosphorus atom will decrease, which ultimately decrease its minus I effect. Okay, compare then your PH3, in which there are no alkyl groups present. So here electropositivity of phosphorus will maintain and it can show the higher minus I character compared than your Pr3. Understand? So here no bond pair repulsion present. So theta will remain same. But here the dominant factor is the electron donating nature of R group, and because of this group, this electron donating nature, the electropositivity on phosphorus atom will decrease, and because of this phenomenon its minus I effect tendency will also decrease. Understand, friends? And this concept will also apply on your arsenic and antimony compounds. So this is the main reason behind Nr3 plus is greater than NH3, where Pr3 plus is less than PS3 positive ion. I hope you can understand this concept. Okay, now we talk about our today's topic, that is our applications of inductive effect. Now we will talk about applications of inductive effect. So friends, we have total 6 to 7 applications of inductive effect, and the first application is your stability of intermediates. Our first application of inductivity, so it can use in the explanation of your stability of intermediates. Now, in organic chemistry, we have basically two types of intermediates, that is carbocation and carbanion. So, their stability can be explained by inductive effect. Now, how can we explain? See, we have two intermediates, that is carbocation and carbanion. In carbocation, the carbon have positive charge, and in carbanion the carbon have negative charge. Okay, so ultimately friends, we know that we have three types of carbocation and carbanion, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. Now how can it explain on the, how can its stability on the explain on the basis of inductive effect? See, as you know, we have carbocation is, first we have basic CH3 carbocations, then we have a primary carbocation. A primary carbocation is in which your positive charge carbon can bind with a single carbon, and we have a secondary carbocation. Okay, these R groups varies. Not strictly here CH3 or another R group will also present or also bind with your carbocation, and the last one is your tertiary carbocation. Okay, so we have primary, secondary and tertiary carbocation, and similarly we have simple carbanion. We have primary carbanion in which the negatively charged carbon can bind with your one alkyl group. We have a secondary carbanion and we have also a tertiary carbanion. This is your primary, this is your secondary, and this is your tertiary carbanion. Now friends, you know very well that the alkyl group have plus I effect. It means it can show your electron donating tendency towards your carbon chain. Okay, so R has plus I tendency, or we can say that R has electron donating group. So it means when your R group can bind with carbon atom, it increases the electron density or carbon atom. Okay, so it means R group increases the electron density or carbon atom. Now what happens when carbon has electron deficient? It means it is unstable in state. Now for stability it requires an electron. When carbon is on positive charge, when positive charge is on carbon, it means it is unstable, it is electron deficient, and for stability it requires electron. And if R group attach with positively charged carbon, so because of its plus I tendency or electron donating nature, it increases the electron density on your positively charged carbon. It means ultimately your positively charged carbon can be stabilized. Okay, and you know, in carbanion, when negative charge is present on carbanion, it means already electron density is high on your carbon atom. Now when a R group is attached with your carbanion or negatively charged carbon, it also donates the electron on your negatively charged carbon, but in this case it will destabilize your negatively charged carbon, because it has already it has more electrons. Then after the R group we also donate the electrons on your C minus or carbanion, then it will also destabilize your carbanion. So ultimately what we conclude? We conclude that the R group can stabilize your positively charged carbon and can destabilize your negatively charged carbon. So according to this statement, we can write the order of stability of your carbanions and carbocations. So when you see that the primary, secondary and tertiary carbocations, in your primary carbocation you have one R group which can donate the electron on carbon, positively charged carbon. In secondary you have two R group, and in tertiary you have three R group. So among them your tertiary carbocation will be highest stable carbocation, because it has three R groups which can donate the electron density towards your positively charged carbon. Okay, and oppositely, when you see in your carbanions, here your tertiary carbanion will be least stable carbanion, because here already carbon have negatively charged. It means it has already a more electron density, but also here three R groups can donate the electrons on your negatively charged, which will ultimately destabilize it. Okay, so when you find the order of stability according to this I concept, inductive effect concept, in carbocation, three degree is highly stable, then secondary, then primary, then your CH3 positive, and in carbanions CH3 negative is highly stable compared than 1 degree carbanion, then secondary, then last one is tertiary. So this is the order of stability of intermediates. Understand, friends? Now on the basis of this this concept, we can also talk about the stability in your cyclic anions or cations, or your respectively hydrocarbons, that is alkane, alkene, or alkyne anions and cations. Okay. Now friends, when we want to explain the stability of your cyclic anions, cations, and alkane, alkene, alkyne cations or anions, you must know the concept is that your electronegativity will directly proportional to minus I effect. When there is more electronegative element present, it will show high minus I effect. Understand? Okay. So we use this concept in your explanation of cyclic anions or cations stability. Okay. So first we can use this concept in the explanation in between stability of alkane, alkene and alkynes. So we have simply see ethane and ethene and ethyne. So we have also their respective cations or anions. See how? We have CH3 CH2 plus cation, we have CH2 CH plus cation, and we have HCC plus cations, and also we have anions. See, okay. So we must find the order of their respective their stability, cations and anions. Now friends, here we say that electronegativity is directly proportional to your minus I effect. Okay, and more electronegative atom will possesses your negative charge. You also know that this concept that more electronegative element will possesses negative charge, and more electropositive atom will possesses positive charge. So here you must find that what ion possesses positive charge strongly and what ion possesses negative charge strongly. So from this friends, you see that here you have CH3 CH2 plus cation. Okay. Here you can see that the hybridization is, here you can see that in ethane hybridization is sp3, in ethane it will be sp2, and ethyne it will be sp. Okay, and we discussed in our previous lecture that the sp hybrid orbital will more electronegative compared than your sp2, and sp2 will be more electronegative compared than your sp3. Why? Because sp has more s characters, while sp2 has less s characters and sp3 have least s characters. Okay. So now we use this concept to explain the stability of these ions. Now friends, you know that percentage s character is directly proportional to electronegativity. So when percentage s characters are high, their electronegativity will also high, and when electronegativity of high, it bears negative charge, and when it bears negative charge, it has a strong minus I effect. So when you compare the cations, when you compare their respective cations, So ethane has sp3 cation, ethene is sp2 and ethine has sp. Here hybridization cannot change sp2 and sp3. So it means your electronegativity will high in ethine. So it means it has a strong minus I effect, and because of this strong minus effect it bears negative charge. But you can see in your cations it bears positive charge. So it means according to this concept, according to this electronegativity concept, it has least stability, because it has positive charge which can't be stable in your sp hybridization state or electronegativity concept. So when you compare the stability of cations of these hydrocarbons, the most stable cation is your CH3 CH2 cations, then CH2 double bond CH cation, then last is HC triple bond C cation, because of this concept. And also this concept can explain the stability of carbon ions. You see that percentage character is directly proportional to electronegativity. Here the most electronegative will be this triple bond and it has negative charge. So it means it has maximum stability. So stability of carbon ions is and also this is the order of minus I effect. Minus I effect. This is the stability order of your anions. Also minus I effect power of these ions are respectively. So highest minus I power will be your ethine or triple bonded cation, then double bonded anion, and last one is single bonded anion. Now I hope you understand the concept of the stability of these respective hydrocarbons on the basis of percentage character and electronegativity. Now we can also the explanation of your cyclic cation, stability of cyclic cations or anions on the basis of your electronegativity concept. How? Let's see. Suppose we have three cyclic compounds, that is cyclopropane, cyclobutane and cyclopentane. Understand? Now we have their cations and anions. We have cyclopropane cation, we have cyclobutane cation, and we have cyclopentane cation, and also we have cyclopropane anion, cyclobutane anion and cyclopentane anion. Now how can we explain the stability order of these ions on the basis of electronegativity or minus I effect? Now see friends, we see the bond angle relation with electronegativity in our previous lecture. Okay, we see that when there is a high bond angle, there is high electronegativity. So bond angle is directly proportional to your electronegativity. Outer bond angle, see, okay, not inner, outer bond angle. So we talk in these cyclic compounds, angle strength present. Ideal tetrahedral angle of carbon atom is 109.5 degree. Here you can see that all carbon atoms are in sp3 hybridization state. Okay, and you see here the bond angle is decreased from 109 degree to 109.5 degree to 60 degrees. here 90 degrees, and here 108 degrees. So in these compounds, high degree of angle strain present, especially in your cyclopropane and cyclobutane. Now you know when inner bond angle can compress, the outer bond angle will be expand. The value of outer bond angle between CH and CH, this bond angle will expand. Okay, this can be denoted by phi. So here, because of phi increase, its electronegativity will also increase, and you can find the relation that when electronegativity increase, its minus I effect tendency will also increase. And so it means when there is a minus I effect increase, it possesses negative charge. So you can easily see that in your cyclopropane, highest value of phi, okay, here highest value of phi present, outer bond angle, because here higher angle strain present compared to your cyclobutane and cyclopropane. So it means because of this high value of bond angle, outer bond angle, it possesses negative charge strongly. Okay, because its electronegativity will be high, and electronegativity high means minus I effect high, and when minus I effects are high, it will possesses negative charge. Same concept apply, which we will apply in your previous point in your hydrocarbons. Okay, so it means when you find the order of stability, this, the cyclopropyl anion is stable than your cyclobutyl anion and cyclopentyl anion, whereas the stability of cations is opposite. Now you can understand why this order here and why this order here. Same concept apply, just here just the concept of bond angle applies, then you explain the order of their stability of their ions. Understand, friends? Okay, so this is the stability of intermediates. Now we move towards our next application of inductive effect. Now next application of inductive effect is the study of reactivity of alkyl halides. That is Rx, where R is alkyl group and X is your halide group. Okay, now friends, what is the reaction for reactivity of alkyl groups, for study of reactivity of alkyl groups? So we know very well known reaction that your alkyl halide can react with silver nitrate. This is called as silver nitrate test. Okay, in which formation of alkyl cation occurs and the PPT of your silver halide will obtained. Understand? Okay, reaction of alkyl halide with silver nitrate can form a PPT of silver halide, and formation of alkyl cation occur. Okay, now how can it relate with inductive effect? You clearly see that this alkyl cation, the formation of this alkyl cation can deciding factor of this reaction. This reaction will be happen or not, will be decided by the formation of this alkyl cation. When the formation of stable alkyl cation occurs, then this reaction will occur, or if the alkyl cation is not a complete stable, then this reaction will not happen, or your PPT was not obtained. If your PPT obtained means your formation of stable cation occur, and your PPT wasn't obtained, then it means the formation of the formed alkyl cation isn't stable. Now friends, we have three types of alkyl halides. Okay, see, first we have a primary alkyl halide. okay, in which halogens bind with carbon. This carbon can bind with one alkyl group. Then after we have a secondary alkyl halide, then we have a tertiary alkyl halide. This is your primary, this is your secondary, and this is your tertiary alkyl halide. I hope you understand why we call primary, because the carbon which binds with halogen can bind with your one alkyl group. Here this carbon can bind with two alkyl group, and here the carbon binds with three alkyl group. Now when you react with these compounds with an AgNO3, what happen? There will be no PPT occurs in the case of primary and secondary alkyl halide, but here PPT obtained. This is a test of alkyl halide, that is primary, secondary or tertiary. Primary and secondary doesn't give this test, but tertiary alkyl halide gives PPT. Now you can see that here your primary carbocation form which is unstable, here secondary and here tertiary. So in this case we have a tertiary carbocation which is a very stable carbocation compared than your secondary and primary. They are not stable. So because here R plus cation is stable, so this tertiary alkyl halide will give this test, will PPT obtained. So now you can understand that how we can explain the reactivity of alkyl halides on the basis of inductive effect. Okay, here the deciding factor is the stability of alkyl cation. So tertiary is greater than secondary is greater than primary is the reactivity order of your alkyl halides with silver nitrate. Understand? Now we move towards our next application. Now the next application of inductive effect is to explain the reactivity of alcohols. So our next application is reactivity of alcohols. Now see how can it relate with inductive effect. So friends, we know that in alcohol the hydroxyl group will binds with alkyl group. So friends, first of all we talk about bond cleavage in alcohols. As you know, in your alcohol there is a two possibility of bond cleavage. So we have two possibilities. See, the first possibility is the bond cleaved between your carbon and oxygen. So here first possibility is the bond cleavage occurs in between your carbon and oxygen, and because of this we have these species, that is R plus and OH minus. Understand? This can be happen in acidic medium in which H2O can remove from alcohol. Okay, this can be done in your acidic medium. Now because of this cleavage we have a alkyl cation and OH minus anion. Now how can it depends on inductive effect? See, we have a three categories of alcohol, that is primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Now as you see in this reaction, the bond can cleave between carbon and oxygen. There is a formation of carbocation occurs, that is alkyl cation, and you know the stability of alkyl cation is your 3 degree alkyl cation is greater than 2 degree and it is greater than 1 degree. So here your tertiary alcohol will also show maximum reactivity towards this reaction. So here also this is also your reactivity order of alcohol. Understand? So your reactivity order of alcohol in this type of reaction is tertiary alcohol will be more reactive compared than secondary, and secondary will be more reactive compared than primary. Now the another possibility is the bond cleavage is occur in between oxygen and hydrogen. Here the cleavage occurs in between carbon and oxygen. Here the bond cleavage is occur in between oxygen and hydrogen. Now because of this we have a RO minus anion and H plus cation. Now here you see that oxygen charge is present on OR alkoxy anion, and it means it has negative charge, and on the basis of inductive effect we conclude that the primary carb anion is more stable compared than your secondary, and secondary will be more stable compared than your tertiary carb anion. So here the reactivity order is opposite compared than your this condition. So here the reactivity order is primary alcohol is greater than secondary and secondary is greater than tertiary. Okay, understand why this order? Because of here alkoxy anion present, and the order of carb anion is primary and secondary and tertiary, and on this basis we can also conclude the order of alkoxy anions, that is primary alkoxy anion will be more reactive compared than your secondary, and secondary will be more reactive compared than your tertiary. Okay, now we can discuss some examples of this reaction, of the reaction of the alcohols. So friends, we have two conditions. See, in first condition we talk about bond cleavage in between carbon and oxygen, and the formation of R plus cation and O minus anion occurs. So first of all, our well known example is dehydration of alcohol. In dehydration of alcohol, in the presence of any dehydrating agent, dehydration means removal of H2O in the substrate. Okay, so when it remove H2O, here you can see that one hydrogen can remove from this carbon, and OH can remove this CH2 group. So here removal of after removal of H2O we have alkene as a product. So it is a well known method of formation of alkene from alcohols by dehydration. First this reaction in which the bond cleavage occurs between carbon and oxygen. Then second one is Lucas test. Okay, in Lucas test you react alcohol with Lucas reagent, which is anhydrous ZnCl2 plus concentrated HCl. Okay, and the formation of alkyl halide occurs. So this is a Lucas test, anhydrous zinc chloride plus concentrated HCl. This is known as Lucas reagent. Another one reaction is when you react alcohol with PCl5. It will also form your alkyl halide with the formation of POCl3 and HCl, and it will also react with SOCl2 and PCl3, in which it can also form your alkyl halides. So this is some of the examples of the reaction of alcohol in which the bond is cleaved between your carbon and oxygen. Understand? Now we have another possibility, that is a bond is cleaved between oxygen and hydrogen, and here we have alkoxy anion plus H plus cation as a product. So the first example of this reaction is esterification. Now what is the esterification reaction, friends? In esterification reaction, we react alcohol with an acid in the presence of concentrated H2SO4 and the formation of ester occurs. Okay, so in this reaction, when a carboxylic acid can react with alcohol in the presence of concentrated H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4 will act as a dehydrating agent. So in this reaction, the OH comes from your acid and the H comes from your alcohol, because the bond cleaved between oxygen and hydrogen. Okay, and removal of H2 occurs, and by this process the formation of ester occurs. This is your ester, and concentrated H2SO4 will act as your dehydrating agent. It is a very good dehydrating agent, that is concentrated H2SO4. Okay, now we have another example. See, if we have a compound in which the OH group will present on 2 position, and when it react with any acid, now you have 2 positions of OH group, and out of this position, which position can react with your acid, it will be decided by the stability of carbon anions. Remember, we see that here the primary carbon anion or primary alkoxy anion is more reactive compared than your secondary, and secondary is more reactive compared than your tertiary. So here you see that this alcohol is your primary alcohol, see this one is your primary and this one is your secondary, because this carbon can bind with 2 carbon, this carbon is only bind with 1 carbon. So here this OH can react fastly compared than this OH, because it is a primary OH group. So now here what is the possibility of product? We have this product. Okay, because it is a primary alcohol. Now I hope you understand why this inductive effect concept is very important in your reactivity of alcohols. Okay, another example of this reaction is your tosylation or brosylation. Okay, what is a tosylation and brosylation reaction? It is a very important reaction for your reaction mechanism purpose. See, when an alcohol is react with tosyl chloride or brosyl chloride in the presence of base, this bond can be cleaved and the tosyl group can attach with this OR minus group, because see, we must first draw the structure of tosyl chloride and tosyl bromide. What is the structure of tosyl bromide and tosyl chloride? See, this is known as tosyl group and the chlorine is tosyl. Now if we talk about brosyl group, what is brosyl group? Just one difference. See, here Br group attached on the position of CH3 and Cl. It is called brosyl group. It is a tosyl, it is a brosyl group. So we use tosyl chloride or brosyl chloride. So it will act as cation and it will remove Cl as a anion. So this Cl anion can bind with H and removal of HCl occur, and you have tosyl alcohol or brosyl alcohol as a product. Okay. So this one is also an example of this reaction in which oxygen and hydrogen bond can cleaved. Okay, so these are some examples of your alcohol reaction. We will further discuss in your reaction mechanism topic of this these reaction on your reaction mechanism topic. Now we move towards our next application of inductive effect. Now our next application is the inductive effect is used to explain the reactivity of carbonyl compounds. It explains the reactivity of carbonyl compounds. How? Let's see. We have a two category of carbonyl compounds, that is aldehydes, in which a carbonyl group bind with alkyl group and hydrogen, and ketones, in which carbonyl groups can bind with alkyl groups. Okay, this is the ketones and this is aldehydes. Now we know very well that the characteristic reactions of carbonyl groups is nucleophilic addition reaction. It will show nucleophilic addition reaction. How? See. When we react a carbonyl group with any compound which possesses electrophile and nucleophile, okay, and in carbonyl group you know that because of this electron withdrawing nature of oxygen, the carbonyl carbon है partially positively charged and carbonyl oxygen है partially negatively charged. So it will act as an electron deficient center and it will act as an electron rich center. Carbonyl carbon will act as an electron deficient center and carbonyl oxygen will act as an electron rich center. So your nucleophile can attack on electron deficient center, that is carbonyl carbon. So in this reaction, firstly the nucleophile will attack on carbonyl carbon, and this is a slow and rate determining step. Understand? Now what happens? See, after the attack of nucleophile, this oxygen will carry negative charge and this nucleophile can bind with carbonyl carbon, and after that the second step is first step, in which your electrophile will attack on this oxygen and ultimately you have a product. And these two valencies. See? Okay. So this is a complete reaction mechanism of your nucleophilic addition reaction or carbonyl carbon. Now how can this reaction is influenced by your inductive effect? See, you see that in carbonyl carbon it has two valencies, and in aldehyde it can bind either these two valencies by hydrogen or one valency by bind with hydrogen and another one is alkyl group. And in ketone, the both valencies can strictly bind with two alkyl group. Now you know that the alkyl group has plus I effect, so it decreases the positive charge density on carbon atom. Okay, because of R has plus I effect, it decreases the positive charge density on C plus carbon. Now as you compare in aldehyde and ketones, the aldehyde show more reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction compared than your ketones. Now I hope you understand why this happens. This is the reason behind the reactivity of aldehydes more than ketones, because in aldehydes it has a single hydrogen present. When you talk about in aldehydes, in formaldehyde there is a hydrogen on carbon atom, so they can't show any inductive effect, hydrogens. So carbonyl carbon have pure positive charge and oxygen have pure negative charge. Whereas when you talk about your acetaldehyde, the plus I effect of this CH3 group can decrease the positive charge density on this carbon atom. So because of this, it will show less reactivity for nucleophilic addition reaction compared than your formaldehyde. And when you talk about a ketone, in this case we talk as an example acetone. Here 2 plus I effect will highly reduce the the positive charge density on this carbonyl carbon. So it will show less reactivity for nucleophilic addition reaction compared than your acetaldehyde or formaldehyde. So when you talk about in reactivity of carbonyl compounds, the aldehyde will show more reactivity towards nucleophilic addition reaction compared than your ketones, and this can be explained by inductive effect, because in aldehyde no inductive effect or a single alkyl carbon inductive effect can cause the decrement in positive charge density on carbonyl carbon, whereas in ketones 2 positive I effect can highly cause the decrement in positive charge density on your carbonyl carbon. So so here the reactivity order is this. Formaldehyde is highly reactive compared than your acetaldehyde, and acetaldehyde is highly reactive compared than your ketone or acetone. Okay, understand friends? So this is the inductive influence. This is a reactivity of carbonyl compounds. Understand friends? Okay. So ओके फ्रेंड्स, सो आज का लेक्चर हम यहीं पर ख़त्म करते हैं, एंड इसके अलावा आपके कुछ 1-2 एप्लीकेशंस और बाकी है इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट की, उसको हम हमारे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो वीडियो को एंड तक देखने के लिए बहुत बहुत थैंक यू. एंड फिर भी किसी भी तरह की डिफ़िकल्टी आती है तो प्लीज़ कमेंट सेक्शन में आके ज़रूर पूछिए फ्रेंड्स. ओके, एंड जैसा कि मैंने आपको मेरे वीडियो की स्टार्टिंग में बताया था, हमने IIT जैम केमिस्ट्री की प्रिपरेशन के लिए एक बिल्कुल नया यूट्यूब चैनल स्टार्ट किया है, दैट इज़ IIT जैम केमिस्ट्री बाय रसायन सेतु. इस चैनल का लिंक आपको इस वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा. प्लीज़ उस चैनल को देखिए, एंड अपने जो भी फ्रेंड्स जो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद IIT ज्वाइन करने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, IIT जैम 2021 की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं, उनको रिकमेंड ज़रूर करिए. ओके, सो थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग.